that I had already agreed to, the contingency offer maybe 3 weeks ago. And
In the morning,
yeah, I had a medical appointment. I know that when I first started with you guys' organization at ABM, I want to say maybe about 2.5 weeks ago, I worked with a woman in the back, and I explained to her, I said, I'm a veteran, I'm just transitioning to the area, that I would be going down to the Veterans Association about my third week here for an appointment at the Veterans Association with the Dallas over there and whatnot, based upon entry into the program due to an injury that I had based upon my foot and all the other such good sorts. I explained that to them upon onboarding. I was expecting to actually onboard and walk through the process last week, but for some weird odd reason, after going and doing the badging and all that other good stuff, it was pushed out to this week. And now I'm under the impression that she just told me to go into the kitchen or whatnot. The a woman that's training inside of the, because I had to, like I said, I expressed to them vividly, hey, I cannot miss these type of appointments because they're for the medical nature of my foot and things of that nature. I had an injury working for Amazon not too long ago, things of that nature. So I gotta make those appointments and stuff like that. So I had to leave at about 9:30ish to arrive there at about 11:30ish. Arrived downtown. The gentleman that was supposed to perform the actual appointment for me, Dr. Tarpley, and all that good stuff, he was not in his office due to whatever reasons that had transgressed or whatnot. He had, I want to say it's probably the gas leak within the Dallas area that maybe slowed him down or something like that. He said he was working at another location handling business with other of his services or whatnot. I didn't go too much into detail with it, but I did go ahead and reschedule that appointment for perhaps the 3rd. And guess I received a text message from your organization saying that I was supposed to come back from the 3rd until the 5th for additional training and whatnot. That's going to have to force me to push that appointment back another week or so, another 2 weeks or so. I'm not understanding. I've been offered, the rescission of the job. I've passed all the background tests, information, things of that nature, all other sorts, the badging and all that good stuff. I just want to know, like, what's the issue with me?
Okay, so I can address, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
my name is Brianna. I am.
Nice to meet you, Brianna. My name's Christopher Brown.
Okay, nice to meet you, Ms. Brown.
And your name again is?
Rosario.
Miss Rosario? Nice to meet you.
The only thing right now is when it comes to training,
Yeah.
all of our trainers, the training curriculum,
All right.
part of that is AA lessons, compliance lessons,
Yeah, yeah.
all that good stuff, and then actual on.
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off at any
No,
rate
you're
either.
fine. So
But what I'm going to
next
say is that what she spoke to us and said is that if we did actually have to miss a day, she said that we could just come back the following week for that day that we perhaps missed, or those few hours that we perhaps missed. I understand that that's what some of the other fellow ABM employees were also experiencing, as they might have missed a day or two or something of that sort.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
correct, but how
All right.
that also works is that's a compromise that both the training team and then you as the individual have to correlate on. They also are trying to transition 30 or so people out into the operation. So
All
what
right.
we can do is, you mentioned you have your appointment next Tuesday. Is it the 3rd or Wednesday?
No, I'm not a member of that. It's
No,
just an
your
integrity
appointment-
check.
your doctor's
veteran
appointment.
or your injury.
You just
that
mentioned that you
yes.
had a doctor's appointment next
I
week.
think I received-
Well, I would need to come back to the to here possibly on that Tuesday to pick up that Tuesday that I possibly missed today, right?
Okay, so my question is your doctor's appointment? That's next week, you said?
Minus the doctor's appointment, ma'am. All right.
Yes, so
So
minus that
yeah,
appointment?
because I missed a few hours of today's intercessions for
So-
the overnight position and whatnot. And the inducement, I was also wondering, are you an HR representative?
So
I
what,
am the HR representative.
All
I
right,
spoke
in your
to you this
position.
morning.
All right.
yes, so what we're trying to help assist you with is when you can come back to training. That's why I asked. for your
I believe I
doctor's
spoke to her this morning and I said, ma'am, I'll be stepping out for a few minutes due to the fact that I have a medical appointment.
Yes.
Oh, hold on, sorry, you
And
said you were gonna step out for an hour, in which I told you.
I said the medical appointment was at
Right, so let me, how the
Huh?
conversation went, you were walking away, and she brought it to my attention, and we both turned to you, and she addressed you, and she
Yeah.
did tell you sir, you cannot leave. And you said, I have to leave, I have an appointment. Into which then she said, well, you can't leave. And then you kept in, like, you disclosed that you had a veteran appointment, that it would be an hour and you would be back. So we told you that.
I couldn't, I mean, I couldn't miss that
Sir,
appointment, yeah.
And we told you, if you leave, then you'll have to reschedule you.
No,
So
she said
then-
that she said what happens is if you miss a day or a few hours, she blatantly explained this to us while we were inside of the class. And I said, all right, cool, fine and dandy. And then she said, well, you can come back the following week for the day that you missed.
Right. So because you missed today, we are not going to allow you to return to continue the week. So
Oh.
you would come back next week and start from where you
So
left
I
off.
start from the
From the
beginning?
point where you left off. So you did our first day, so you would do our second day forward.
And that's the parameters for all the other employees, correct?
Correct.
Because a lot of those employees that are sitting in there, you know, I'm very coherent with like the laws of discrimination and things of that nature. I think we spoke about those things earlier and we talked about harassment and stuff like that. A lot of those employees that are sitting in there today, they weren't there yesterday. So I'm under the
we
impression
have-
that a lot of those employees
like I
might.
mentioned from the start, I
Yeah.
did say I am the HR representative for cabin and
Okay.
janitorial services.
Yeah, I'm not trying to
So
be
you
a
did not just have
problem or
cabin
anything extra.
services,
I just wanted to
you
hash
had
these things
janitorial.
out prior to
So
such.
if you would have listened to when I did the introduction, I mentioned that we had janitorial and cabin services.
All right. Yeah, I'm very coherent at listening. I actually present inside of the federal courts. I'm very coherent. And I do a lot of employment law, things of that nature,
So
harassment,
did
discrimination,
you
stuff
do you
like that.
recall the part where
And
said we have
well, I
cabin
definitely
and
remember the
janitorial?
part where I spoke with her and she mentioned if you miss a few hours or whatnot, all we'll do is we'll reschedule for the day that you missed on the next day. And I also remember the part where some of the employees that are actually in there today were not present yesterday. And she said that we're actually going to be missing a whole entirety of a day today, this week anyways, as to it that we won't be working on Thursday. So I was wondering, with that compromising or whatnot, where's the sulfate fixture for the reason why I would get rescheduled to a whole nother week of training versus just not coming in for the Tuesday like some of the other employees that are performing as
So-
such are?
If you must know, our whole schedule is actually from Tuesday to Friday.
Okay.
Due to us having the holiday on Thursday, we moved it to Monday, Wednesday, and then Friday.
So it wouldn't be plausible for me to come back in for the following Tuesday and
So, because you already did your first day, which was actually yesterday, is our
Yeah.
typical Tuesday.
okay.
So what you would need to do is starting from Thursday to, from Wednesday.
So
to
coming on,
Friday.
so it would be plausible for me to come to finish my course today, and then maybe
No.
finish the rest of the
Because
week.
today is technically our Wednesday.
Okay.
But unfortunately, because of the whole holiday, it falls on Tuesday.
So would it be plausible to finish the Thursday and the Friday,
No.
if that were the regular week? So to come in on the Wednesday and then skip the Thursday, come in on the Friday, and then
So
come back
you-
on the
no,
Tuesday.
sir.
Oh,
So you would
okay.
have to restart from where you left off. For example, next week, you would start on Wednesday to Friday.
All right.
Yes.
And also under your guys's, because I'm under the impression that I don't know who it was I spoke with. I think it might have been the company owner back in New York City. I'm a resident of New York State and just passing through or whatnot. And I'm under the impression that is that the parameters for each and every employee? Because I do see employees that are in there today that weren't in there yesterday.
Like I mentioned before, you had people this morning from janitorial in there.
Okay.
So again, we had people from janitorial who are not cabin services who came and listened.
So is there
to
any
the
reason
HR
why I'm being
presentation.
denied the training at this point?
Because you.
Because I had the
stepped out of
medical
class.
appointment? Is it because
You missed a whole half day's worth already.
well, I believe I missed maybe 10 or 15 minutes. I mean,
No, sir.
excuse me, about an hour to an hour and a half, because
No, sir.
I believe I walked out as about 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then
Okay, and let's be clear.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not denying you training. We're rescheduling you for next week.
Okay.
You can come back next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, to complete your training.
Okay,
So we're rescheduling you for training.
okay. And
So do those dates work for you? Because at the beginning of the
what's
conversation,
the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
at the beginning of the conversation, you mentioned you had another doctor's appointment next week.
Let's see what the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday looks like. That's the 5th, 6th, and the 7th? What are those hours, so I can put those in here?
Those are it's the same thing, from 8 to 4:30.
It's gonna be from 8 a.m. to 4:30?
Correct.
Alrighty. That's 08 in the morning?
Yes.
And so now I was also under the impression that the inducement to employment that I received under the conditional officer was, in fact, that you guys are actually going to be paying a distribution amount per the Fair Labor Standards Act of $14 per hour. And I'm under the impression that there was never any documentation that was serviced upon me. A part of that, as far as the orientation arrangements or any of that sort went for your guys' orientation efforts or training efforts and things of that nature. So what I want to know is, what is the compromise between the actual orientation pay rate and the actual
So that's what's established in our contract with the client.
Oh, okay. And there's no prudential contract with the employee?
No, that is,
No?
we go based on our contract with the client. That is what they're allowing for in terms of the budget.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, it's what, once the employee makes it to the operation.
Okay, so this is right now we're just in training?
Correct.
All right, so when does the disbursement for the training come about?
Are you talking about the conclusion of the training?
Well, when does the disbursement for the training come about?
So what are you trying to get at? What is
I believe that there's an exchange in labor for compensation, and I believe a part of the orientation is a part of the commission on labor that the employee is
Did you
inducing
sign up
themselves
for direct
to.
deposit?
Negative, ma'am.
So our pay schedule is Fridays. So for example, you started this Friday.
Yeah.
So this week, then your pay would be next Friday. And potentially, I'm pretty sure she already discussed, it could either come direct deposit or it would come in a.
Well, I'm not going to sign up for any type of electronic anything here. We spoke earlier, and we spoke, verbally about the higher rights situation in which there was the whole background lawsuit to where they
So
just recently
when you sign up to direct deposit, you
dispersed
can sign
out
up
that
with
$30
whatever
million or
organization you
whatnot.
use for your bank.
So I wouldn't use any of the electronic apprehensions. I would do everything
So
in
then it
the.
would be a physical live check that gets
All
mailed
right.
here.
Yeah.
And then you can pick it up on Friday after you complete your training on Friday,
Alrighty.
next Friday.
All right. Could I finish, please? So following that as such is I wouldn't was that in fact that it was a contingency offer based upon the passing of the drug test, the passing of the fingerprinting test.
So there's onboarding paperwork.
All right.
That has our workers' compensation, our onboarding, that's part of our work rules.
Oh, would that be the part where I was denied the continuation of the training upon
No,
return today?
That was what I asked this morning if you had completed, where you were just sitting and you said that you had already completed all of that.
Oh no, I'm actually standing, and I'm standing pretty proud
No,
and
like
strong.
I said, earlier in the morning,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I walked everybody through getting into their employee portal,
Yeah.
and I inquired if you completed your verification, you did your direct deposit.
Oh no,
before,
I had to
you
leave
said
prior
you-
to logging
No,
into any
sir,
of the
I
systems.
verbally asked you because I noticed that you were the one who was.
Oh yeah, with the
Amongst
I want to say it was, I can't remember her name, but I want to say that she's one of your guys' incoming interviewing employees or whatnot. She's a Hispanic woman. She was very polite during the interview process or whatnot. She went over things in great detail. She offered the conditional offer to employment and things of that nature.
No, sir, that's not what I'm referring to.
Yeah, that's where she did the background check. She
That's
did
not what I'm referring
the.
to either.
I went in. I did the I-9 form for the entry into the overnight position through the airport.
That's not what I'm.
Okay, so we doing it, and that was another question that I had was there's a duplicate I-9 for Homeland Security?
No, sir, that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay,
There's no duplicate I-9s.
yeah, because
So
I do believe that I filled one out.
No, okay, so did you go on your email and access the employee portal and went
Yeah,
in and?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, she took my
No, so if.
ID
this would
card
not have
and-
been- This would not have been with anybody other than you and your email.
yeah. I mean, when I first came in here, she took my ID, she took my social,
Okay,
she
so
went and
no.
she took a copy. It took a few minutes for something to authorize, and then
You're.
I filled out a
thinking of
9-9
the wrong-
form.
It's the wrong step, sir. So that's part of your pre-boarding.
Oh,
That's before you enter the classroom.
Oh,
After
so-
you enter the classroom, you should have received a couple emails, which is what I discussed earlier this morning.
yeah.
And I asked everybody to take out their phones, go to their email.
So there's
locate
two
that email.
I-9 forms for this
There's
job.
no two I-9 forms.
Okay.
There's
Yeah,
only
because
one
I did
I-9
fill one out. That's the Homeland Security form. I did fill that out for Homeland Security. That was the I-9 form where it asked me about tax withholding and all other such efforts or whatnot. I'm very familiar with those. Yeah, I did fill that out.
So you entered the employee portal with your employee number, created your password, and completed the I-9?
I believe that's what